that your younger brother that's on Toledo?
Yes, sir, it is.
Who's got a bigger leg? You or him?
But I think I got him beat. I think I got him beat.
Where have you seen yourself grow the most just since arriving on campus?
I'd say in terms of definitely in my recovery and looking after my body. You know, these facilities are immaculate, state of the art. It's on us if we don't feel good going into practice every day because we have so many options to get better. And you know, I feel I've done a good job of making good use of those things and just kind of setting myself up the best I can be each and every day. And then also on the social side of things, you know, I knew nobody when I got here, so it definitely took some part of me that I hadn't really touched into very much to kind of go out and meet all the guys and, you know, socialize and kind of find my group and be open to everybody and that kind of thing.
Does it help when it also features other specialists, like Kevin Gallick came from somewhere else, and there's other guys that also were coming into Nebraska for the first time? Does that make it a little bit easier in that regard?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. Me and Archie Wilson arrived on campus within days of each other.
Yeah.
So I met his whole family and all that kind of stuff, and so we got pretty close pretty quick, just because we were kind of the only two we knew. And you know, when we got here, summer conditioning hadn't started yet, so it wasn't until then when we could really get out and socialize with everybody and get to meet everyone. So him and I definitely bonded over that. And then Kevin as well. I mean, all of the specialists were super welcoming as soon as we got on campus and as soon as summer conditioning started, and it's just a great group of guys. We're super close, and it's a really good atmosphere for sure.
What has it been like for you having Brad Maher around? Obviously, him being an NFL kicker and just things you maybe picked up from him.
Oh, it's been awesome, and definitely on the fundamental side of the game, but the mental side of the game more specifically is, you know, he's been around the block. He's seen just about all there is to see in the kicking world, so he can help us navigate these situations and understand everything, so that when the time does come, we're prepared and nothing really catches us off guard. And then in terms of fundamentals and that part, you know, he does a really good job of breaking down the core concepts and applying them to each and every one of us, because neither me, John, or Tristan kick the exact same. But he's able to look at how we kick and what would optimize how we kick and what would make us the best versions of ourselves. So he's been a super big asset on our staff.
Kicking being such a mental thing, I guess, how do you approach that? How do you think you've developed on the mental side of things?
You know, I focus a lot on breathing. There's something we talk about, and more specifically with Dr. Stout, is, you know, if you have the things you are focused on in the moment, there is no space for anything else to get into your mind and cloud it, right? So if you're truly focused on, say, your breath, say your process, anything in that kind of regard, there's no space for any other thoughts to get in, and like doubt or anything like that. So I really just try and hone in on one specific thing, just because it allows me to block out everything else. And it's not really blocking anything out, but it's more of not letting anything else in.
Hey, what have you seen from Archie that makes him special?
Man, that kid can do just about anything you ask him to with a football in his foot. He, whether it's a banana ball, a roll out right, roll out left, spiral, like he hits some of the biggest spirals I've ever seen, but he also hits some of the best rollouts I've ever seen. And he does it all at a very, very high level for being, you know, soon to be 19 years old tomorrow. Happy early birthday, Archie. And not having played football before. You know, he's matured very quickly in the sport, and I think that he is going to be a huge asset for our team this year.
What was it like for you getting to experience Memorial that Saturday in practice, and just, I imagine that's the first time you had kicked in there, just maybe getting a feel a little bit of obviously not a lot of fans, but still just getting a feel of the environment and all that stuff.
It was cool. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed that Saturday, because like you said, there wasn't as many fans as there would be, but it was kind of a glimpse, in my opinion, into what it can be. And it's good to practice those situations before they come up, you know, like say first game of the year, or I guess second game of the year in Memorial. But it was really awesome, and all it did was get me more excited for when all 90,000 people are here, and cheering Go Big Red, and I'm super pumped for it.
Did you learn anything about, or have you learned anything about kind of the wind at Memorial Stadium? And Brad Maher talked about any of that, or do you get deep into the sort of the conditions for kicking at stadiums?
Something that Coach Brett really preaches with us is make the wind affect your best ball. And that's kind of looking at it as don't kick or don't place your target because of the wind, but hit it through the wind and focus on contact and focus on the ball or your strike so that the wind doesn't affect it at all. And a lot of times the flags in Memorial Stadium will lie to you. We kicked in there 3 times a week all summer, and they could be blowing any which way, but it doesn't mean the ball is going to move that way. You know, there's times where the flags on one end zone are blowing towards the stands, and the flags on the other end zone are also blowing towards the stands. Like you have no idea what's going on, and so it's kind of one of those situations where you really just have to hit your best ball, and you know the wind is going to do what it's going to do, but for the most part, it shouldn't really affect it that much.
In Coach Eckler's press conference, he was just saying like he's taking any and all accountability for anything that happens. Does that allow you as like a special teamer to play like carefree or just less pressure, knowing that your coordinator's kind of taking any and all accountability like that?
You know, I'd say it relieves a little bit of pressure, but at the end of the day, we hold a standard here. And regardless of who's claiming responsibility, I think that each and every one of us has to uphold that standard and do the best we can at that. You know, if we want to be a great team, that standard has to be held by everybody. And regardless of who catches the blame for anything, you know, we all got to uphold that standard and do the best we can each and every day.
Does Ja'Cory Barney yell during every kicking session?
Oh, every single one of them. He definitely brings the juice. He's always got a bunch of energy. It's pretty funny. You know, it's interesting because it's like not even that it's getting in your head to miss. It's like you're sitting back there trying not to laugh because he's being so funny. It's pretty cool. But yeah, he's super vocal in all the kicking periods. And I mean, shoot, even if it's not a kicking period, we could go on in a 2-minute situational period, and he's still out there yelling. You know, it's pretty cool.
Have you ever had a teammate at any other stop that's done something like that?
Not an individual teammate. There's times where there's pressure kicks and they'll have the whole team up around you kind of thing and everyone's yelling, but no one ever like Ja'Cory. He's out there day in and day out, you know, bringing the energy during the field goal set period, because you know it can kind of mellow down a little bit during the field goal period, but he doesn't let that happen.
Yeah, Kyle, for you, kind of what is it like assimilating, kind of moving across the country, assimilating to a room where you're competing against everybody, but you also don't know anybody?
You know, honestly, it was a pretty easy transition. Everybody in the room was super welcoming. We're all super close already, and we're only a few months in. You know, it's something we preach big time in our room is we want to be like this. And, you know, we can't do that with anyone fighting. And so we really, really focus on our relationships with everybody. And it's been really, really great thus far. And as far as the competition goes, you know, we're just there to make each other better every day, right? I don't really view it as a competition. I view it as each of us doing the best we can be so that we push each other to be the best we can. You know, something we talk about a lot is iron sharpens iron. And I think that's true, right? If you can raise the bar for yourself, your competitor will raise the bar, and ultimately you will both get better. And that's what matters at the end of the day.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.